Well, I wonder if there's something to be said for the fact that, a lot of places are crowded.
Yeah.
Um,
People get
there's
anxious
yeah,
and nervous.
yeah, right. And so nobody knows one another like that because you got these complete strangers moving in from out of state or out of wherever, just setting up camp and setting up residence in basically your backyard or whatever, and it's like, who are these people? And they don't have those values because they came from other places that were built up too. And it's just, those values of looking out for one another, your neighbors, you knew who your neighbors are or were, that sense of community. It's a dying breed of people that can appreciate what that really means anymore because you've got, which is ironic because look at the lifestyle that most people are living in nowadays. They're living in apartments or condominiums or stacked up like matchbox units of living one upon another, side by
Yeah.
side to one another, your asses to elbows together, and you don't know each other from Adam
Yeah.
these days. It's ironic that you're so close but yet you're so disconnected from people anymore, you know.
We've lost so much in our strive for convenience. Uh, and of course, anybody way back in the day would love to have running water, or the fact that you can live in a house now that has multiple rooms where you can just go in and turn a knob and out comes clean drinking water. Uh, when even up into the late 70s, early 80s here, people were still walking down to a creek or a spring or out to a well for water.
Yeah, light, I mean, electricity, like all those modern
In
amenities
that
and conveniences.
time, late 70s, early 80s, before people were getting electric in some places here. Allegheny County, Ashe County, the next one over, are known as the Lost Provinces of North Carolina.
Mm,
They're some of the last in the state to get any sort of uh, connection to the rest of the world, or to any of the towns or cities. Um, Sort of like an isolated pocket where it was easier to get to what's now geographically southern Virginia or far eastern Tennessee than you could just 20 miles further east from here. It was easier to get to Virginia and Tennessee than just 20 miles down the
wow.
mountain the other way. Um, Infrastructure finally caught up and came through, and highways, and there's still no highways in this county, interstate.
Right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, man. Like where I live is even 10 years ago. I mean, I moved to this area of Tennessee 10 years ago. 10 years ago this year it'd be 10 years that I've lived in Middle Tennessee, Murfreesboro, And this city, this town, whatever, it used to be a college town, and you're 40 miles, 35 whatever away from Nashville, from the city. Doesn't feel like it anymore. It's like the city got closer.
oh yeah,
It didn't, but the growth, the everything, and you say convenience. It's interesting to think about that word and what convenience means. To make things easier, to make things more accessible, to make things, you know, but at what cost? How
yeah,
convenient is it really when we're losing some of those important values of humanity? You know, you don't know your neighbor, you don't care about your people next door to you. You don't, it's everybody's out for themselves. It's rush, rush, rush. Dude, there's so many accidents that happen in town here. People getting hit by cars and motorcycles getting run over because people aren't paying attention. What are you in such a damn hurry about, man? Where's the fire? Why do you have to be in the front? I get cut off all the time just trying to get to the next intersection. Like you got in front of me 3 seconds sooner. What how is that convenient? you almost caused a wreck, hurt people. You know what I mean? To what? Just gain a position. This ain't NASCAR. You know, it's like I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I understand what's happening, but it still doesn't doesn't make it easier to see.
It's wild that every generation kind of says the same thing about the next generation, that you're going too fast, you need to slow down, you're in too much of a hurry. Uh,
I sound like my parents.
but it's
That way.
that continual progression for convenience and I think competition in the world,
Yeah,
to be seen or to feel important or to make the most money or whatever it is.
yeah.
Uh, that's
Everybody wants to make a name for themselves, and that goes back to like some of the what you were talking earlier about with like the content creation. You know,
yeah,
look at the direction that content creation has been going in and has pretty much stayed in. It's how much can you cram into a minute and a half, and they've increased it now. You know, you can have quote unquote short form video, vertical content, whatever, up to 3 minutes. I think on like Facebook, whereas before it was like you were cut off at 60 seconds. Now they're like, oh, well, you can do up to 3 minutes. Like, gee, thanks. you know,
I think
appreciate that.
the things that we might hear our grandparents complain about right now, they had to hear their grandparents complain about while they were growing up, and their grandparents had to hear their grandparents complain
Mhm.
about the same, not the exact same things, but the same things happening in the world. Things are changing too fast, moving too fast. This is a silly thing. This thing is frivolous. Uh, that you were up to do or too fancy. If you had running water or electricity, who needs that?
Mm, yeah,
So yeah,
perspective.
I think it's just this continual progression. But some people let it get to them, some don't.